And so when I chose medicine, honestly, Courtney, I felt like Beyonce only died.
Hello everyone and welcome to Flower Press, a series where we chat to inspiring leaders, creators, visionaries, all whilst we arrange beautiful blooms. Today I feel incredibly lucky because we are chatting with no other than Dr Preeya Alexander, who is a woman of many hats, a GP, a podcast host, a television presenter, an author of 3 books, an educator, and all round a general health expert who has this remarkable ability to provide medical advice in a way that actually makes sense to people. So welcome, Preeya.
I heard that and I was like, is that me or not? I didn't know.
It's incredible. I'm exhausted even just saying it, let alone living it. I suppose we should just jump into some flowers.
Please.
I would love to ask you actually how you got into medicine. Did you know that you always wanted to be a doctor?
I did.
Really?
Yeah, so when I was in year 2, so I was a very accident-prone child.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time in hospitals. I got really badly burned with hot water. I had a massive wound on my leg from trying to jump over a wall and I didn't make it. I spent a lot of time around the medical profession. I come from a family of lawyers. It should be,
right.
I'm not in the family business. So I've gone really rogue and got my whole family like, what are you doing?
Very different.
Very different. They were like, this is crazy. But I just loved science, biology, how the body worked. I think I had a positive experience as a child with people looking after me within the medical profession. And then I went,
Right.
I wanted to be like a burn surgeon. And then,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's so sophisticated.
But at 6 years old, like it's so weird now in hindsight. Like I remember walking around going, I'm going to be a doctor, but it actually stuck.
It stuck.
It stuck. And I was always science orientated. I did English and history and I loved it, but I always kind of leant towards the sciences. And so I don't think I could have done anything else.
Yes.
And loved it this much.
Sounds like
I'm going real haphazard here.
good.
Okay.
As you should. You're just building it.
I'm building. I'm doing white and green. I'm sticking with it. I need more of that. What's that again?
Chamomile.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
Bit of a tea. I like that. I'm just going to take, you're doing your own thing.
No. Okay.
I'm stealing your chamomile.
I'm great.
Thank you very much.
So you always knew you wanted to be a doctor, which is interesting because I think one of the things that really, I guess, is super interesting about the path that you've taken is that you have this really unique ability to take complex medical issues and things that are potentially quite difficult for individuals to understand, and you can break it down and convey it in such a way that it's really relevant for people and people can understand it and connect with it. And I wonder, is that something you've always been able to do, or is that something you've developed as you've gone along?
I think, thank you for saying that, because that's kind of half my job.
You're brilliant at it. And
I think it's probably my forte. Like when people say to you, what are your strengths? I think I'm able to, like you said, hopefully demystify or deconstruct really tricky medical stuff and make it digestible.
Yes.
I've been always a public speaker. So at school, I did a lot of debating, public speaking, and I am from a family of lawyers where that's kind of, that's what you do. And so I think that has helped.
Yes, it would have.
And I've always been kind of trained as a kid to think on my feet. I loved presenting. That was kind of my jam. And so when I chose medicine, honestly, Courtney, I felt like Beyonce only died. And my mum was like, you'll never this is it. I can't believe it. She was like making it sound terrible. I chose medicine. But
Oh my gosh,
well, she was like, you love public speaking. You love this will die. And I did feel like Beyonce was dying. I was like, this is it. I'm never going to. But then I've managed to incorporate it.
Yes, you really have.
And I hope that, I get to make a bit of a difference and people go, I didn't know that about PCOS or anxiety or, heavy vaginal bleeding, whatever it is, and break some stigma but give people some really reliable health info.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is, I know there's so much information out there, right? And there's so many different sources that people can be getting information from these days.
Oh, yes.
And so I think, one of the things that struck me about you is you have a real knack of kind of busting those medical myths and misinformation and conveying what the truth is in a way that doesn't make people feel bad or silly or foolish for following a particular trend or adopting whatever the new it thing is in health.
Yes.
I think people want to do the right thing. And so people want to do, like, people want to take steps to improve their health, to improve their well-being. And I just think you have such a lovely way of calling out those bits of info that might not be that good for you. I wonder, are there some red flags that we should be looking out for when we're looking at medical information?
Online?
Yes, online, not talking to a medical
It's hard.
Online.
It's really hard. I think social media has done so many great things
Yes.
in terms of helping combat stigma in some spaces, in terms of helping people find community.
Yes.
But it's also allowed the real spread of health misinformation.
Yes. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people who are unqualified who do share information in the health space, and it can be really problematic. And I think it's hard for people. Like, I think, thank you for, I think it's hard. Like, even as a 38-year-old mum of two doctor, practicing GP, I look at stuff and I go, wait a minute, isn't it? And it's hard even with all the health literacy in the world.
Yes.
So I think looking for people who are qualified is a good start, and actually looking for the qualifications. So some people can use the title doctor or dietitian or whatever without having done the training. So actually looking for...
Well, they shouldn't, but they do. Is that correct?
Yes, and there's also other ways that you can get the doctor title, and people might use it to suggest that they're a clinical practicing doctor when they might be a different kind of doctor or a chiropractor or something else. So you just need to be careful that who am I following, what are their credentials, and are they providing references and reliable sources for their information?
Yes.
Because if people are quoting teeny tiny studies and cherry picking data, you can make anything look good.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
I suppose that's right.
Yes.
And it's interesting to hear you say it can be tricky.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the first to admit. I think I'm going to add some yellow. Do you think that's crazy?
Well, you've got bits of yellow. I think
Yeah.
go for it. This is actually looking glorious. I love it.
Surprised.
No.
Oh, you've got the yellow.
I've
See,
yellow
you've got a
front.
real starting from up here. Okay.
I actually...
I love
what
these
you're
teddy bear
doing.
sunflowers.
It feels like you've gone to a field.
Yes. Randomly.
No, but I love that.
So nice about it.
I love it.
If it was tighter like that, it would be, I'm going to copy your yellow flowers at the front if I may.
Do it, please. So, when we first met, Preeya, in fact, we've only met once before,
Yes.
and it was at a glorious women's speaking event, and you spoke about something that really, it stuck with me.
Okay.
And I've
what was
carried
it?
I've
Yes.
carried it sort of in the back of my mind ever since. And it was about women in particular carrying the mental load of life.
Yes.
And that is something I hadn't probably thought about it that deeply beforehand. But since that event, it is something that just,
Tings in your mind.
just circulates. I wondered if you could just talk to that a bit, and I guess what you see in practice and some different ways to manage it, I guess, or get some more balance in your life.
Get some more balance. So the mental load is really talking about all the stuff that goes on in your head that's invisible. That's how I describe it to patients.
Right.
It's exhausting. It's the lists in your head. And in a heterosexual couple, it's usually the woman who wears the mental load.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And it's kind of that stuff, Courtney,
I was going to say, you hear it. You catch up with women.
Yeah. And they're going, and
And it's a to-do list. It's everyone's
yes,
to-do
everything's
list.
a to-do list. And it is literally that kind of constant, where do the kids need to be?
Yes.
Have I got enough stuff for the lunchbox?
Yes.
Are the undies clean? Have we got a uniform tomorrow? Is tomorrow PE or normal uniform?
Yes.
What shoes are they going to wear? The shoes, the sole is wearing off. Who's going to replace the shoes?
Yes.
Are the dogs fed? Have they been washed? Have we...
Yes.
And it's constant.
Yes.
And it's exhausting. It's really exhausting. And I think once you, and it's interesting, I must have planted the seed for you during that panel discussion, because once you identify and you're aware of it, you go, oh, my brain is constantly overwhelmed with just the invisible load of stuff. And it's exhausting. And I think it's probably multifactorial, and there are much cleverer people who can talk to this. I'm going to throw this random one in.
Yeah.
She's
go
beautiful.
for it.
What is she?
She is a zinnia. took me a minute.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. Sorry, so we digress, but once you start to identify, you realise how exhausting it is.
Yes.
The question I often get asked is, well, why do people take on the mental load? Is it why do women step into that place? And I think it's probably multifactorial, and I think at least for me it's that what's this? Oh, this is this. I wanted more of this. Yeah, beautiful.
We've got some bits of orange here.
Oh, I'm not going to do it.
Not
Or do you think I should?
orange?
Is that marigold?
It's marigold.
Oh, I'm Indian, mate. I got to put marigold in. Yeah. That's our like special flower.
It's your special
Yeah.
Yes.
My mum would go bananas
can
if
you
we
eat?
had. Yeah, well, you can. You can eat anything. Well,
Okay,
that's not you can't. You can't. Don't listen to the doctor on that one. But, yes, marigold you probably can. I've seen it actually in dishes. Sorry, where were we going? Mental load?
Okay, mental load. Women take it on.
Yes, and I think in my case, Courtney, at least I can say that it's because I am neurotic and I like control. And
Right.
so I would often just take over and give Will, my husband, no place to step in, even my mums. And so half the battle for me has been going, okay, well, I'm exhausted. I'm taking on the mental load. But I've got a perfectly capable teammate who wants to step in, but I stop him because I don't like the way Will folds the clothes and I don't like the meal that he chooses. Yes. And so half the battle with the mental load is actually identifying it, sometimes writing it down. There's a really good book called Fair Play.
Okay.
Everyone should go and read it.
Good title.
It describes this perfectly. But sitting down going, what are the jobs and how do we divide it?
Yep.
And actually, for me, and I remember my mum saying this to me when our daughter was born, was, darling, you've got to step away so I can step in. And she's right, because I would be like, what are you doing? Do you need any help? Hovering. And she would go, darling, I'm really good at, I've got this.
Yes.
Delegate. Let me do it my way. It might not be perfect, but it'll be done.
It'll be done.
So with the mental load, I think if you're going to delegate, let people step in and let them do it their way. Just relinquish control. The job is done. Let it happen.
Yes.
Like your partner might buy weird school shoes. They might not be the Mary Janes or whatever the little things, but you go, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's a little one. The job's done. Let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
I
go.
like that. I like that.
I could talk about that forever.
Mental load.
Yeah.
Another thing that's sort of happened to me in recent times is my Instagram feed has all of a sudden been taken over with a lot of information about perimenopause.
Oh, yes.
And that makes a lot of sense to me at this point in my life because I am now 41. So this is like my next chapter, right?
Yes, it is.
But the interesting thing to me is before, like a year ago, when that was not on my algorithm, I had no idea that was a thing. I had no idea it existed. And so it's been quite helpful having this information. But it does make me think, is it only now that we're starting to have conversations about it and maybe a couple of years ago people weren't talking about it? And if so, are there other things that are still maybe just not discussed as broadly? Like I feel like it's odd that I get to this point in my life
And you start hearing
and
about
I've only learnt about it now.
That's the algorithm, though. How clever is it? It's scary.
I know, it's scary. And sometimes it's great, right?
Yeah, sometimes it is
I
great.
love that.
So I have to say, that's what I was talking about before. I think social media has pros and cons, and I think one of the pros is, look at that. You've been seen. You're hearing about something that's going to impact you. You're getting informed.
Yes.
It's abolishing stigma.
Yes.
And it's been amazing. And I think for perimenopause, I get patients in the consulting room going, Preeya, I saw this. And whatever I heard or saw or read suggested I should come and make sure all my preventative health checks are up to date because my heart disease risk starts to climb and my bone health is now a really big factor. And I go, amazing, because perimenopause is all about how do we optimise the preventative health to keep you healthy whilst the hormonal status starts to really shift. So it's done wonders for that. There are still heaps of topics. That we don't, like we're now talking about things like pelvic pain, heavy vaginal bleeding.
Right.
But there are still so many people that are struggling with really awful period symptoms or heavy vaginal bleeding or pelvic pain that think it's normal.
Yes.
But I do feel like they're slowly coming out of the woodwork and going, I think I can actually talk about this now because I think what's been happening to me for the last 10 years isn't normal. Flooding every night and changing my pad or tampon or cup every hour. And I go, yes. And so they can talk about it. And so I think social media is having a positive impact there.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
So interesting.
We've got a huge female audience. We actually have a female workforce predominantly. Are there any, and I guess myself, this is probably a little bit of a selfish question because it's kind of, tidbits for me, but are there any things you would recommend for women or for people generally, I should say, to help improve energy levels? I feel like you get to, I don't know, I just feel myself, you're pulled in a million different directions all the time. My whole battle is just preserving energy. Are there any medical, health-related tips?
There are, but they're not sexy, Courtney. This is the problem.
Okay.
So I think the first thing is anyone struggling with energy, I have to just put my GP hat on for a second and say, go and see your GP and make sure there's nothing else going on.
Okay.
If you're very fatigued and somehow struggling with, iron deficiency, anemia, thyroid disorder, something, go and talk to us. This is what we do. And I'm thinking about autoimmune things and joint disorders, and there's lots of things that can cause fatigue.
Yes.
Some things which are easy to treat, some more sinister things. So just go and get it checked. Okay. Make sure you're not missing anything.
Okay, that's good.
And perimenopause as well. Fatigue can be certainly a feature there.
Yes.
But when it comes to energy, it's not sexy. It's the stuff that people know, and it's the stuff I prescribe people in the consulting room every day. But it's the things like being physically active regularly. So actually it's a paradox. Like if you're feeling fatigued, people go, well, I'm not going to exercise. If there's nothing pathological going on, actually being physically active helps with energy levels and concentration.
Right.
It also reduces your chronic disease risk, is good for your brain, helps your nighttime sleep quality, cancer risk. Like being active is great for you, but it helps with energy. Getting enough sleep. I know. And it sounds, like, whatever, Preeya, but genuinely, like, sleep is becoming quite sexy, a bit like sunscreen at the moment.
It is,
Like, getting enough sleep is, like, it can impact your risk of heart disease, even cancer risk, mood. Like, it's so important. So getting enough for you, getting enough good quality, and that means sleep hygiene stuff, right? So no screens in the hour before bed. No caffeine after 2 p.m. Wind down. So some of them are like...
I'm like, tick. No.
The screens is hard. The screens are hard. But, doing sleep well will make you feel better. And alcohol negatively impacts your sleep quality. I know. It's why I don't drink midweek at all. I can't get a good night's sleep. So if you're feeling fatigued, looking at your sleep, am I doing the sleep hygiene stuff? Should I reduce my alcohol intake? Could I move a bit more? Being out in nature is really good for the mood and stress management, because if you're stressed, you're going to feel fatigued. So managing stress is really important. So it's all the non-fancy stuff. I hate to...
actually got to do the work.
Everyone knows. But actually implementing it. So I actually write it on my planner. My exercise, my no caffeine after this.
So you block it out, or like
I block it out, or I prioritise. I'm like, I have that stuff to do, but I need to do my Pilates class. I want to walk the kids to school because it's good for them too. I just am very rigid about it.
Okay. Wow.
Because I know that I'm better. I'm a better mother, a better GP.
I like the scheduling idea.
Yes, that's the neurosis just shining through.
No, it's good, because otherwise you end up like me and it'll be fine, don't worry, and then it's not fun. And then
but you can pull it back. And you do get tired. And I do get, like, I don't want to lie to you. Like, I'm not great. Like, last night I was scrolling. I was like, what am I doing?
Oh boy, yes.
And it's like, what are you doing, babe? Like, and I'm like, I don't know. I just found myself down a rabbit hole of, I'm going to crack this. Don't worry.
Yeah, great. Good.
Were you?
Oh my
you
God.
were worried that I was going to sustain a hand injury.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
But no, I'm not perfect at it either.
Okay.
But it's just about tweaking the stuff and energy. It's if you're feeling tired, it's, am I stressed? What can I tweak here? It's often the smallest things can yield benefit.
Yes. Okay. On that note, that is looking marvellous. Are you happy?
I am happy.
I think it looks incredible.
I'm actually surprised I've pulled this off.
You've nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, so yours is more beautiful.
No, I don't think so. I love yours.
Okay.
I think it's...
You're being nice.
No, I'm not.
I feel like I've got one too many yellows. Do you think? Well, no, it doesn't matter.
I think it looks beautiful.
Okay.
I think it's good.
I'm feeling a bit...
Do you feel like you're near the... How are you feeling? Are you...
I'm feeling good. I don't know what else I could put in here.
I think you're good. I think you've nailed it.
Thank you.
So
I'd buy this.
I do have one last question. Do I need to put anything else in mine?
My yours is nice. Yeah.
Oh, I've lost a snap. I have one last question, and that is, if you could give a bunch of flowers to anybody in the world for whatever reason, who would it be and why?
Who would it be? It'd be my mum.
Good.
It'd be my mama bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum, I don't want to start crying. Like, that's not what this is about. She's just awesome. She's just the most incredible human who gives a lot of herself to my family, to my marriage, to my children, and she's so supportive. And she's a King's Counsel. She raised me single-handedly, and she's just a powerhouse. But her generosity with time and effort and meals, she'll fill the fridge with like dal and whatever we want. And she's just... She's an amazing role model, so it would be her.
Yeah.
It'd be mum. And it would have marigold in it because she loves it.
Well, I mean, yeah. We could talk about mums for a while.
Yeah, we could. We don't want to start crying.
No.
Oh.
No. Well, on that note, it was absolutely glorious chatting with you today. You have so many books. You have 3 books. You've got Rainbow Plate.
Yes. Full Plate, the cookbook.
Yes.
And Eat, Sleep, Play, Love. I had to think for a minute. The book for parenting, all the medical tidbits for the first 2 years of life.
You have a podcast.
I do, Happy to Health, and I co-host the Health Report on ABC Radio National, which is also a podcast for Norman Swan.
Amazing.
Yes.
And then people can also follow you on
Instagram. Dr Preeya Alexander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that everything? That's a lot.
That's enough, I reckon.
They're the main places.
That alone is making me feel stressed.
It's a lot.
It's enough.
All right. Well, I think we should do a grand reveal of our arrangements.
We've both got the yellow at the front.
Yeah. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.